Greetings, terrestrials. The day is August 12th, 2021. The Earth is in retrograde, and you are watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I, of course, am your host, Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bizarre. Every week on this show, we get you to line up, to join us on the web, and to call in and share your experiences with the unexplained. Why, it's been so long, my friends. It's been nearly a month and a half since my last broadcast, and I know the unexplained are out there. The things that we have experienced that we do not quite know what it is. Folks are experiencing them left and right, and by golly, they've got to be lining up to call us tonight. Call us tonight right here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, an exploration of the bizarre. I'm back, baby. And we've got some top stories right off the top because we have been hyping it up right before we went off the air. Hello, everyone in the chat. Right before we went off the air, there was talk. The government UAP report was coming in from the Department of Defense. And let me tell you, folks, there's nothing we love more than an inconclusive government report. All of this time building it up, and here's the underlying thing, the very first thing that they were like, this is the most important thing you have to know, is that available reporting was largely inconclusive, and that limited data leaves most UAPs unexplained. For the most part, what they wanted us to know is that the limited amount of high-quality reporting on unidentified aerial phenomenon hampers our ability to draw firm conclusions about the nature and intent of this phenomenon. So there's not enough information. The project reporting is just not there. Now, if we can do better reporting, maybe we'll get a better idea of what unidentified aerial phenomenon is, what these unidentified flying objects are. But because people aren't reporting it enough, the government doesn't have the substantial things to tell you about. Now, if you're a government employee and you've witnessed the unexplained, then we need you to call in. We need you to drop a line and join us on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister and let us know. Let's get the advanced reporting right here, right from the people. We don't need the government middleman to tell us what people are experiencing. We want you to call in and share your stories here on the air. Now, we've got a real big news story coming out here. This one I'm blown away by. This is perhaps the most phenomenal eyewitness report of the Chicago O'Hare International Mothman. We have been following this very closely since the beginning of the program, and this one is coming to us from SingularFortean.com. Listen to this. This was an email was sent in from a witness, an employee at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. She said, I was walking to my car with two of my friends after getting off work. We were talking about the day and how it felt good to get off and head home. As we approached the car, I saw something moving across the street, but on the other side of the fence. It was dark, but you could easily see it as the entire area was lit up. And there was a plane that had been brought up near the fence and was unloading or loading, and there was a lot of activity around the plane. As we walked, I pointed it out to my friends, and they also saw the same thing. About this time, a white SUV came driving up with its emergency flashing lights on and came to a halt on the road and on the other side of the fence. Two men jumped out and shone some flashlights on this person, prompting the person to turn around and stare at them. It looked to be about 6 to 7 feet tall and was a very dark shade of gray, almost black, and had what looked like two large glowing red eyes, but that could have been from the flashlights being shined in his direction. About 10 seconds after the first vehicle arrived, another came up and the same side of the fence as the person who had illuminated illuminated the person with its flashlights. I remember hearing my friend say, "Lord have mercy," as we watched the scene unfold in front of us. It was about this time the person opened up what looked like a pair of giant bat wings and flew into the air. As it flew up and over the people that were gathered around, it let out a large screech that sounded a lot like a train brakes or the brakes from a large truck. It flew around in a large circle twice, screeching, and then flew out over the fence toward the runways and the terminals in the distance. As we watched, a white pickup truck with a TSA emblem came up towards us with its emergency lights on and told us and the others who were gathered in the parking lot to clear out and get in our cars and leave the area immediately. We did as we were told, and as we drove out to the parking lot, we saw another 3 marked vehicles, just as many unmarked vehicles pulled into the street and parking lot, all with their lights on. Now, this goes on. I mean, that's the end of the descriptor. But the report, the author also was able to get corroborating details from the other witnesses who were named in this story. They got in touch with them, and they all justified to the same witnessing, the same descriptions of the O'Hare International Mothman. This the security incident, they have filed FOIA requests to try to find out if there's any more here, because this does seem to be a significant incident of sightings occurring at the thing, at the Chicago O'Hare International Airport. Folks, I am so happy, I'm so thrilled to be back on the web, projecting to you. I was out in the mountains for quite some time, and I was just, reflecting on life, having a wonderful time, walking through a labyrinth every day, a labyrinth of my own mind, of my own creation, out in the woods. It was an incredible experience. I recommend everybody just wander off into the woods from time to time. Does your heart and soul very good. Folks, here on this show, we open up the phone lines. Stephen, have we dropped it? Yes, we have. The Zoom line is in the chat. We want to hear from you. Have you experienced the unexplained? Is there anything you have witnessed that you can't quite put a name to? Is it extraterrestrial? Is it interdimensional beings? Have you witnessed ghosts? Have you witnessed specters? What is it? Have you witnessed interdimensional time shifts? Anything is possible. And we are here to explore just those possibilities here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Now, Stephen, it's been a while since we've seen you. How are you doing, my good friend?
I'm doing great. You know, I was just thinking it's so easy to call in if you're watching on Twitch to click that link. There's probably a lot going on that we haven't heard about. And look, my head could do a bunch of different cool things.
Oh my God, yeah. Stephen.
I've been busy.
You are blowing my space-time continuum tonight. What have you, holy moly, how are you developing these, this is madness, chaos. I'm sure the people at home, each and every single one of these little blips of you is just another timeline version of yourself getting trapped there.
Yeah, you know, when I shut down my computer, I do strange things to it and with it, and then the next time I open it back up, boom, it's there, baby.
Can folks see the link? Can other folks see the link? I think we just posted in the chat.
It's in the chat.
We could like put it on the thing, but it's a Zoom link, so it's like if I read it out to you, it would just be a big series of random letters and numbers.
Boom, there it is again.
There it is. Thank you, Stephen. There we go. I guess sometimes it's also just an older. If you're new to the chat, if it was popped in before you joined, it would not be there. But there, the hotline is up. We want to hear from you. What have you experienced?
If you can't find it,
unexplainable things.
Exclamation point, call in. We'll get you to see it. And it looks like MRC Dolson, who is our new followed or just followed.
Oh yes, I believe these are some of my mountain friends. I went up there and I did a quick little speech, a motivational speech for the group.
Hunter Duggan.
Yes.
Thank you both for those follows.
Mr. C. Dolson and Hunter Duggan, thank you for joining us. Thank you for following us. Always great to know their friends in the crowd. I went out there and I gave quite the motivational speech. And my friends, if you want to witness that and you were not there, you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Strange Times Indeed. It helps us build the empire of Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. We're building some mobile sets. We're hoping to go on the road some point soon, set up a little confession booth at some events. I'm going to the Braxy Bazaar. I don't know if I'm going to be boothing or just visiting, but I'm going to be there. The Flatwoods Monster event, that's happening September 10th and 11th. And then that's the end of my public appearance list at this time. But I hope you might consider joining us there. And if not, well, live your life to the fullest, wherever that may be. Here's some exciting news coming out of Harvard University. The Galileo Project is a new systematic scientific search for evidence of extraterrestrial technological artifacts. Oh, hey, we've got a caller coming in. I'll tell you more about the Galileo Project after we hear from this new friend. Dun-dun-dun. Let's see who we've got. Stephen, I've admitted the caller.
Well, we need to see if we can hear the caller.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, we hear you.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Hello. Who may I ask is calling, and may we bring your visage on screen?
Oh, let me tighten the robe a little bit. Yeah, excuse me.
All right. Okay, let's
Yes, go ahead.
All right, you're coming on. You'll be right behind where Bigfoot is. There you are.
Oh, there I am, lurking behind Bigfoot.
Ah,
oh, nice.
Yes.
I encountered a very strange thing the other day.
Okay.
There was a terrible storm in Richmond. It was spinning up from a distance. We saw it, and it was going to not hit where I lived.
Okay.
But then, all of a sudden, it began to turn, and it crashed towards us, making the sky all green and yellow. And it looked angry and horrifying. But the thing was, right as it reached Maymont, which is this park in Richmond that used to be the home of a robber baron who had an incredible amount of money and might have hid all of his wealth somewhere in the city of Richmond, but that's a different story entirely. The storm just kind of lifted up and over Maymont. And at the same time, there was this huge, loud whirring noise. And it was like enormous fans had erupted out of the ground and just blown the storm up and over Maymont. And then it crashed down right near where I live, which is right on the other side. I think that's pretty good evidence that there's a secret government facility inside Maymont that they protected with their giant weather fans.
Yeah, that sounds very plausible to me. My other possible thought might be some sort of a protection curse had been placed on the island. If I don't know if this robber baron was into ritual magic, I feel like most of them tend to be. But this government facility is also. So, what more is there about Maymont beyond that might lead you to think there's a government facility there?
So it's one of those places where I think they want it all to hide in plain sight because they have a petting zoo there, you see. And, it's really unlikely that you would have a petting zoo that's on top of a government facility. But they bring in construction equipment all the time, complicated construction equipment. But it's not clear to me what they're doing with it. Also, The Walking Dead filmed there.
Oh, yeah, and that would also be a very good hiding in plain sight kind of thing. A lot of these government facilities do get contracted to do information for movies, like with Independence Day. That famous story of how they wanted the screenwriters to take out every reference to Area 51, and they were like, "No, we can't really do that." It's very important, and everyone knows what it is because you're very obvious about it. And they said,
right.
Well, then we're not helping you on your film. And they
yeah, and there were a lot of government. There was a lot of military surplus trucks and large, of course, like filming equipment, but there's a lot more people than they would have needed to film a show like that. I think that was cover for them moving major bits of equipment in and out of the underground facility.
Yeah, I think that sounds very likely to me. And is this like, it's not like a little island on the river? I don't think.
No, it's like it was
trying to get an idea of the size of this space that this storm has lifted over.
And I visibly lifted. I can confirm that. That's an eyewitness. That's a two eyes witness.
An implausible weather phenomenon.
Exactly. A plausible weather phenomenon. It's about, it's large enough buffalo live there. They've got buffalo. I see a question in the
Steven, a question.
Yes, I have a question. Were you wearing your spectacles when you witnessed this with your two eyes?
I was wearing my spectacles, indeed. And my partner was also bespectacled at the time. And we were sitting outside on our porch eating Mexican food. And we watched as it erupted up and came crashing down on us. And we had to go inside to protect our Mexican food from getting wet.
What I also find very interesting is the way that this storm seemed to curve and turn to target you all when it was initially headed in another direction. Mm-hmm. Almost as if perhaps if we are dealing with weather bending technology that is going down over Maymont, they perhaps are working on some sort of like weather magnet device, because they could bring it. And I think it would have the strongest impact if they were bringing it directly to them, and then when it hits, they can test their own repellent abilities, bounce it over, and then tidal wave it into you. Because it's just a little storm. How bad can it be?
How bad could it be? We were only without power for 4 hours.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Well, I think that's
good old.
Likely.
That's good old secret government ingenuity for you there.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about the potential magnetism element to this. And maybe it's possible that, there are so many more people who live right here. Maybe it's the like human magnetism of the place that like, as soon as it got over the government facility, it was just attracted to where there was a sudden density of people.
Yeah. It suddenly gained an incurable lust for human flesh.
No, we can't teach the storms to love human flesh. That's the last thing we need from storms these days.
We're about to get some pretty weird ones, I'm sure, which is probably why they're trying to figure out how to control it.
Maybe that's why they keep naming the storms, because if we name them, then the storms will gain a sense of their own humanity, and they'll be more reasonable and not participate in cannibalism.
Yes, absolutely. Their own sentience will be what saves us. We have to achieve the singularity within the storms. Although I suppose the singularity is the opposite of sentience in some ways.
Yeah, it's kind of the transcendent sentience. I guess what we have to do is make sure that this government facility isn't developing a storm singularity and is instead just for developing storm repellent magnetism. Well, I'll sneak in there and I'll let you know.
All right. I look forward to hearing from it. Get some good pictures. If there's one thing I love more than anything else, it's underground government facilities.
Yeah, it's hard picture taking in there, as you might imagine. Especially, I would prefer to bring in an analog camera, because I feel like a digital camera in a magnetism based government facility is just gonna get EMP'd as soon as I go inside.
Yeah, they'll digitally wipe that on your way out just for walking through the door.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and bring an analog camera, but it's really hard. The aperture is hard because it's really dark.
Yeah, you gotta do some
really bright
test runs in your basement.
You're right. I'm gonna have to Ocean's 11 this.
Yeah.
And construct an entire government facility in my basement again to make that happen.
And so what you'll do is you'll get video of you narrating the plan, but then we'll have the cool analog photos to go with it while you're telling the narration.
Yeah, exactly. And then
this will be that the story's already happened.
Exactly.
Steven, another question?
Well, no, maybe a suggestion. If you're going to build a fake underground facility in your basement to test taking pictures, maybe you need a petting zoo. Maybe you need some construction equipment. Maybe you need to shoot a film project that features zombies. So that way people don't think that you're setting up an a basement that looks like a government facility, so you can test your camera equipment. Otherwise, they might be onto you. Whoa, we got a new follower.
Whoa,
Oh.
Serenity Life 93. Well, I hope you found that. I hope you found peace, Serenity Life, in joining this channel.
Well, I'll have to be as sneaky and as secretive as possible, because they probably are watching, right? Like they probably wanted to know if their magnetism and then magnetizing it to human beings to teach it to like crave human flesh was successful. So I bet they were, sending their drones out and around the neighborhood afterwards.
Yeah, I like to think, if anything they've learned from the pop culture that they've helped create is that when you do something noticeably weird, some kids on bikes might see it, and then you have to deal with that. So I think they're probably on extra high alert right now for the kids on bikes adventure to begin.
I did just ride my bike home, and I play a lot of D&D, so I maybe I should be more careful.
This is your time. You could be the main character of this story.
Ooh.
Or
All right.
also, if you're going in there first, the one who disappears and is the inciting incident for someone else's story.
Yeah, I'll just change my name to Barb, because they probably won't want to do that twice in a row.
Yeah, it's too predictable if your name's already Barb.
Sorry, spoilers for that series for those who haven't seen it.
Well,
Bye.
we didn't say what series it was, so that'll be the surprise.
Someone will come across that 20 years later and be like, oh.
Whoa, I finally discovered the Barb moment.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go get my small trowel and my slightly larger trowel and my pickaxe to start digging out my basement a little larger for that whole purpose.
All right. Well, good luck to you, Barb.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for
Cliff.
calling in and sharing your bizarre experience.
I appreciate the opportunity to air my experience.
Well, of course. Have a wonderful night, Barb. Stay
Good
safe
night.
out there. You won't be the one they get. Wow, how about that, folks? Like we've said, the evidence is out there. You've just got to keep your eyes open. There's nothing wrong with sharing. This is a no judgment zone, so call in and share your bizarre experiences every Thursday at 9 o'clock here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. This is a public service that we offer the world. People need to be more aware that these incredible things are happening so that they will start opening their eyes and seeing it out there. But you can't open their eyes if nobody's talking about it. So we've got the phone lines open every week to share your incredible experiences. Maybe destigmatize, nobody's a weirdo, nobody's a nerd, nobody's a whatever for believing in the unexplained. People need to know what is happening at Maymont, the Maymont transdimensional weather stimulator device. That's the name of the episode. The Maymont weather stimulator stimulates the weather all the way to where it needs to be. All right, what is this? The Howard Stern show? No, it isn't. It's Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Of course, the record is over at this point, so the music is not going to kick in. But that's fine. We do the show live every week. This is how it operates. All right, I was telling you folks right beforehand, the Galileo Project. This is a Harvard University study, an ongoing scientific search for evidence of extraterrestrial life. You might be aware just a couple months ago, the Harvard scientist and professor Avi Loeb, he wrote a book called Extraterrestrial. He says he's the head of the Galileo Project, a Harvard University study. So this is a big thing. In 2017, the world, for the first time, observed an interstellar object called Oumuamua that was briefly visiting our solar system. Based on astronomical observations, Oumuamua turned out to have highly anomalous properties that defy well-understood natural explanations. We can only speculate whether Oumuamua may be explained by never seen before natural explanations, or by stretching our imagination to Oumuamua perhaps being an extraterrestrial technological object. similar to a very thin light sail or communications dish, which would fit the astronomical data rather well. So there you go. He witnessed this space object flying through, latched onto it in 2017. Now, I think there's been evidence, and I think well-documented evidence, of extraterrestrial visitation prior to 2017, but this is the first one that got this Harvard scientist, Avi Loeb, to really follow it. And so here we are. We now have the Galileo project trying to look for that. So very exciting news coming out. People are finally starting to take this seriously. There's a what I hear, a groundbreaking UFO documentary on Showtime right now. And if I once I sit down and put down the free trial thing, we will watch that. We will watch an episode of that streaming live on the show, and then we'll do the first one live, and then maybe I'll do a reaction video for all the other ones. And you can watch that as with your own commentary track if you back us on patreon.com/strangetimesnd with Cliff McCallister. We're always making content, but some of it is a bonus for our special secret members of the Strange Times Society for Seekers of the Bizarre. You can become a society member by backing us on Patreon. At 3 levels, you get to join the communication hub in the Discord, and you get special extra content. At $9, you get a physical card that is a membership card. How exciting! As well as other things that is listed on patreon.com/strangetimesindeed. Hey, look, we've got somebody in the waiting room. Waiting room callers, if you're sitting there, we cannot wait to talk to you in just a moment. But Stephen, I got to run an ad. I got to get a little swig of water, and we'll be right back to hear from these callers. If it's too pressing, I don't know, send me a text. You got the number? All right, Stephen, let's get this thing rolling. We'll bring these callers on right after the break. Greetings, terrestrials. Today is August 12th, 2021. The Earth is in retrograde, and these are some strange times indeed. You're watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I, of course, your host, Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bizarre, finally back from a month in the unknown, traveling within the deep forest, practicing ritual magic in the woods. Oh boy, who knows what could happen? I certainly don't, and that's why we practice it. Anyway, we've got a caller on the line just waiting to come in. Folks are hot to trot. It's been a while since we have had an episode, Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, and folks are witnessing things. Government weather control, government weather stimulation at the Maymont Center, at Maymont Island. Is it just the Maymont? Clarify in the chat. Barb? All right, let's go ahead and let these callers in, and let's see what they've got to talk about tonight on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Sorry, I'm late. I wasn't notified. That's all right, Hunter. Oh, here we go. Hey, if you're watching at home, now's the time to turn the volume down on your TV. And when I say you're watching at home, I mean if you're also calling in. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, welcome to Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I, of course, am your host, Cliff McCallister. Who may I ask is calling?
This is Barefoot and 52.
Barefoot from the chat.
Long time watcher and chat member, but first time caller, Cliff.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in. What are you calling to tell us about tonight? What have you witnessed?
I'm calling because I don't know if you can see me, but
I cannot. I currently do not have a video feed for you.
Oh well, you'll just have to hear my voice then.
All righty.
Calling in for a few reasons.
Yes.
First, I want to say to Steven, I'm really digging the shirt, dude. He's styling tonight. He's really styling tonight.
Wow.
The second thing I wanted to say was recently my wife and I made a trip out to the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
I'm
Twin
sure
Peaks.
you know is the home of the Bigfoot.
Yes, and many other unexplained anomalies.
Unfortunately, I didn't see any.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping that by the time you got back on the air, I would have a report for you of the Bigfoot, maybe even an interview if I could have gotten it for you. But sorry, there were no Bigfoot sightings to be had while we were there. We were even at a wedding in the woods. I was hoping maybe he would even show up for the wedding, but no, he didn't. Finally, the last thing is I want to, I'm sure you're aware of this, but I want to make sure your viewers know, tonight is night 2 of the Perseids meteor shower.
Yes, yes.
And as you've discussed in the past, meteor shower nights are the perfect nights for aliens to sneak onto our planet because they can disguise their spaceships to look like shooting stars. So I think it's very important for people to be on the lookout tonight for potential spacecraft that are disguised as asteroids.
Yes, thank you so much, Barefoot and 52. What an important reminder. I think anyone would be remiss not to go out and just have a look at the stars tonight. I mean, for one, you're going to have an incredible celestial experience just laying out there in the yard. But at the same time, you might see something unexplained. You might catch someone doing a blip under the radar that is coming in from outside of this world.
Exactly. Anyway, Cliff, it's great to finally talk to you on the show. We've missed you for the last month. Our Thursday nights have been rather mundane.
Oh, well, mundane is at the beginning of the week. It's Thursday night at 9 o'clock right here on twitch.tv/MechComedy. And I truly touched to have been missed for the past month. But I've been out in the woods. I've been out learning things about well, everything there is.
Did you see any Bigfoots out in the woods?
I did not, but here's the most interesting thing I learned out in the woods. I was out and I did a little speaking engagement for the Episcopal Church out there. And interestingly enough, I came into contact with the information that every Episcopal diocese has on the payroll, ready to go at any time, a exorcist. And the identity of this person is kept a secret. And in general, the whole thing is kind of hush hush. But every diocese has a secret exorcist.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah. And I've got a source within the diocese who was even able to ask the bishop about this. Barefoot, do you want to come on screen? You did turn your camera on.
Yeah, I figured out how to turn my camera on, Cliff.
Well, would you like to? There you go. You're up. Say hello to the world.
Excellent. Hello, world.
All right. So anyway, like I was saying, every diocese has this secret bishop or the secret exorcist. We asked the bishop about it, our source, And the bishop said, it says, as mysterious as the Holy Trinity, or some answer that really did not shed any light on the subject. But I find this to be a fascinating thing as both a secret, but also to think about the levels of precaution that are going to be gone through before we're at the point where we must contact the exorcist.
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
if there is any employees at the diocese who wish to speak under anonymity or would even like to be interviewed on the show, drop us a line at our contact email, strangetipsindeed@gmail.com. It'll pop up in just a moment. Barefoot, and anything else you'd like to talk to us about tonight?
No, I think that'll do it, Cliff. I'll call in again when I finally do get that Bigfoot interview for you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for keeping an eye out there. Always good to know we've got agents in the field keeping an eye out for anything bizarre and unexplained in our national parks.
Take care, Cliff.
Have a wonderful night. And thanks for calling in. All right, friends. How about that? There we go. There is our tip line. If you would ever like to get in touch with me about something top secret, maybe you don't feel comfortable calling in, you can always write in at strangetipsindeed@gmail.com. Sign in. Join me there. Pardon me. Oh, my goodness. Pardon me. The tea is hitting strong tonight, I suppose. Join me there. Send me a private message. Say, Cliff, I've got top secret information for you. If you've got a relative in the Navy, I've been told received a private message apparently that I'm hitting the table too hard with the cup, but we've got a pad down to keep it quieter. So I hope this is more amenable to people's ears. But I gotta have my hydration as we do the show. Otherwise, I would just be talking like this the entire time. By the end, that's just the way it goes. All right, folks. An exciting study out of Germany. This time, not Germany, Russia. Stephen, this is of particular interest to you. Lucid dreaming has been used as a tool in this Russian study to enable volunteers to attempt to contact extraterrestrials. Now, for those of you who are new to the show, Stephen is kind of our resident dream walker. He's been practicing lucid dreaming, and I don't think he's been doing it very successfully lately, but it's something that he's tried and something that he's committed to trying more for the sake of science, particularly the science we do here on the show. And that is him having those dreams, lucid dreaming through them, telling them to me, and then I offer dream interpretation, which I also do for callers. If you've had a dream you can't quite explain and you'd like to talk to somebody about it, you can always call in and share that on the show as well. I'm a modern day Joseph and his amazing Technicolor dream coat. That voice has me wondering if Scooby-Doo, those people are just chronically thirsty. Yes, not much to drink in the cartoon world, I think. So let me read you a little bit about this study I was just giving you the lowdown on. Here's the actual details coming from unexplainedmysteries.com. 152 volunteers were instructed to enter a lucid dream and there to picture themselves experiencing contact with aliens. Of the participants, 114 achieved the goal of revealing unexpected similarities with actual alien abduction reports. The study was conducted at Phase Research Center, a research unit of REM space devoted to the investigation of lucid dreams, sleep paralysis, and etc. The paper was accepted in the peer-reviewed journal of International Journal of Dream Research. So there you go, Stephen. We got to get you a subscription to that journal.
Yeah, that sounds like my kind of topic.
Well, by supporting us on patreon.com/strangetimesindeed, you can help us get a subscription to the International Journal of Dream Research. I wonder what a subscription to that even costs, or if a journal like that is something you can even really subscribe to. I don't know how academics work.
Interesting.
Yo, dream interpretation? Let me start remembering my dreams. That's right. you can remember a dream, we'll interpret it right here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. We'll find out just what you are missing in your life and maybe solve some of the deeper questions presented to you by the unknowns of your own dreams.
Best practice, which I'm not currently practicing, but
yes.
Where I mess up is I don't just keep a journal on my bedside table. You have it right there on your bedside table. As soon as you wake, first thing you do. You don't even think about coffee. You
don't even think about the coffee.
You re-experience the dream in your head and write down every detail. You slowly become more and more aware of your subconscious. And the more dreams that you have a record of, you could actually remember some of the patterns potentially and recognize that you're dreaming when you're asleep. And then while you're asleep, you could begin lucid dreaming. You could train yourself to do that. Another thing, during the day, look at your hands and ask yourself, am I dreaming? And if your hands look normal and you can feel them, you're probably not dreaming. But if you make that a habit, you'll actually ask yourself while you're dreaming randomly, because that's a habit in your brain, and your hands, they might not look right, or maybe you don't even have hands. Maybe you're just like a fly on the wall in your dream and you're like, ooh, I have wings. Let me fly into another dimension. You never know.
So there you go. You at home can incorporate those tricks into your daily life and use dreams to contact extraterrestrials. I think that's very exciting. A very good prospect for the show, Stephen, once you get back into the dream space. All right, let's see. Where was I going? Oh, I do want to give a shout out. I just got a notification, Stephen, from, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the emoji bombs that happen sometimes, Stephen, is when people post a bunch of emojis in the chat, they pop up on the screen. And sometimes when you talk about dream walking, people put a bunch of snoring emojis in the chat. And when it pops up unexpectedly, it briefly hurts your feelings a little bit until you connect the dots and realize what it's in reference to. Always an adventure, technology, the way it works. And now, help, I'm in the blackness, I'm in the void.
Back on. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Cliff,
Steven,
come back.
Help me, bring me back on stage, on screen. Oh my goodness. I've once again been given an astronomical peek into the other side.
And people were crying, laughing at that.
Yes.
I think your audio was still going through.
I should hope so.
I could hear you, but you were a black hole.
I've got sucked into another dimension. I'm telling you, it's not safe. It's not safe out there.
Did you see this?
Yes, I did. This is one of my favorite images from space. This is a picture of a black hole. And it's just, you can see the way the light is curled and twisted around. There, just a brief little glimpse at space, something nice that will sometimes happen to fill time on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Let me tell you, folks, just this past year, I went on a little vacation. I treated myself. I said, I've been around just living out here. And I was just trying to figure it out. I wanted to take a little break for myself. And where did I find myself? But Atlantic City. Atlantic City, folks, the city of dreams. You wouldn't think a beach city could be built on something other than fun. But that, my friends, is Atlantic City. A town, a beautiful town, where all the lights are slowly dimming. Yes, Spangler, I'm talking about the vacation you didn't go on. My friends, we'll get right back to vacation talk in a moment, but we must meet our little intern on the show. He's calling out for attention, so he must be seen. This is Spangler, our chupacabra attack survivor, our good little three-legged boy. You can count him right there. 1, 2, 3. Whoa. My delightful little child. There he goes. All right. Well, we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, everybody, back to Atlantic City. A town of dreams, a town of broken dreams, a town where, I don't know, I would just think that I love going to beach towns where there are great big, fun golf courses, mini golf courses. You know, it's built on having a good time. Atlantic City is a beach city that is built on commerce, just on capitalism, without really any thought for vacation, unless you're a member of the mafia, I suppose. In which case, like, vacation for you is going to a casino, and it is like maybe losing all your money, but you'll also see some nice tits while you're there. And so they built a whole beach town around this. And it's falling apart fast, my friends. I was trying to get to the bathroom in Atlantic City, and I could not find it. The bathrooms in Atlantic City are all locked when you do. They've got a building that could be a mall, and it's got a food court and a space to rent out for events, but also like a lot of space for shops. And they're all closed and they're all desolate. And you can just walk around there. It's just like urban exploring in public. And I couldn't find a bathroom to save my life in Atlantic City. There is not a good public bathroom when you get there. So you're gonna walk a couple extra blocks and you're gonna treat yourself to way more boardwalk food than you should because you want the American experience. That's right. You eat a whole thing of cheesy fries and also maybe some corn dogs, 2 or 3, why not? And don't forget all the ice cream. You're on vacation, buddy. It's Atlantic City. It's kind of like the Fredericktown Mall if a mall was a beach town. And it's probably not going to get revived like the Fredericktown Mall is. Oh boy, I couldn't find a bathroom in Atlantic City to save my life. What a delightful dystopian beach town. Steven, did you put any of the pictures up? There's a Ripley's, believe it or not, and there are a bunch of psychic shops. That's one. Bring up the crab. I want to see the crab if you've got that picture. This is this I think really summarizes the Atlantic City experience for me. This picture. I had a delightful time in a beach town that I was like, well, it's Atlantic City, I guess. But I was very surprised. I was surprised to love it as much as I did. If you took the post-Catalyst Nightmare of America and amped it up to 11, and then put it on a beach, that's Atlantic City. We're sitting there enjoying the nice beach side, and you can see miles off into the sea. You can see the devices that are lifting sand out of the ocean for them to put it on the beach to slow down the rising tides of climate change. And as you're sitting there, a military helicopter will just fly overhead at an unsettlingly close distance to you. But it's just going from one place to the next. Right there, Atlantic City. It's a really a surprising experience. that what a dream. It was truly a dream. Folks, if you've got channel points and you want to use them, I think we do have the cat treats thing up. Spangler doesn't know it, but I've got a bag with some cat treats in my pocket. There it is. If you died right now, what then? Just a little crab in the path, or the remains of a crab, and a little ants. I just think, what a wild existential question, my friends. If you died right now, what then? If I picked up the ukulele without having another song bit prepared, would I just be holding it to make noise? Yes. All right, folks, this is the last call.
We have cat treats.
Yes. Somebody redeemed it? Somebody redeemed it.
It has been redeemed.
All right. Now, this is somebody who knows how to use the system.
Marcy Dolson. All right.
Okay.
Feed the intern.
Oh, I was also going to say a very special thank you to our friend. Here we go. He's had smelt them. Let's see if we can just get him to come up here. What is this? What is this? Oh my gosh, my good boy. Come on up, come on up. You got it, you got it. Come on, come on. Get up here. All right, he's gonna get these treats for all to see, but it's gotta happen on camera, as are the rules of the game. Get up. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna lose a finger doing this. Get up here. Come on. Come on, come on. You're a well-trained three-legged boy. Get up here. Get up here. Let the people see you. Yes, there we go. There we go. Hop up, hop up. Good boy. Okay, now circle around for the camera. Circle around for the camera. Okay, all right. He's going to the floor, so we'll go there with him. That's the way that he seems to want to go tonight. Whoop. I hear you, my son. All right, here we go. There he is. Cat treats for all. There's our guy. Whoa. If I died right now, I'd be pretty crabby. There he is. Okay. All right, folks, there you go. Things have been redeemed. And our good friend, Mr. Connor Dolson, just another shout out to him in the chat. Because just during our conversation over there with Steven about dreams, who should back us on Patreon, who should become one of our newest backers, but our dear friend Barb has joined, has backed our Patreon. So delight to have you with us. Hope to see you on the Discord and all that other fun stuff. Thanks for supporting the dream. Really means a lot to us here on the show. All righty, okay. Well, I believe that may be it. We've got the meteor shower. We've sung a song about Atlantic City. This is our last call. Last call. Let's go ahead and put the call line in there one more time, Stephen. If anyone has experienced anything they can't quite explain, they can give us a call right now. Hydrate. Thank you, Serenity Live. Thank you. A nice little bit of tea for Serenity. In fact, why close now? We haven't done a meditation on the evening yet. And after all, lucid dreaming is being used to contact extraterrestrials. So now seems as good a time as any, my friends. As good a time as any to sit back, find yourself a window. We're going to give this another try. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which is human-initiated contact, which can be achieved through advanced forms of meditation. So here we go. Find yourself next to a window. Find yourself to whatever window you're nearest. Go to your windows. Sit down. Take a look out them. And just look up into the skies. Relax. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Take some deep breaths in your nose and out your mouth. And get lost looking at the stars or even the overcast sky wherever you are. Looking out into the unknown, into whatever is out there in the space above us. And picture your consciousness floating up into the stars, into that space. And maybe hurtling past you is some sort of ooh mau mau that can't quite be explained. And so you stick out your thumb for a lift. And the ooh mau mau pulls over. And you climb aboard. And picture in your mind, whatever that aboard is, what is the inside of this Uo Mau Mau? Evidence of extraterrestrial life that has pulled over to give you a lift on your journey through the cosmos. What does it look like? Who's in there with you? What do they look like? Well, don't be rude. Introduce yourself. Okay, this interaction is going pretty well. Yes, I think you are making peaceful contact with these beings. It's going great. All right. Well, you wouldn't want to make anybody upset, so it's probably best that you thank them for their time and explain that you have to go and watch the end of a Twitch show that's very important to you, so you don't want to miss it. But it was nice meeting somebody from another planet for once. And they'll probably say something cool like, yeah, wow, I wish we could watch that thing, but we're up in space. So I don't know, better call into the show and talk to them about it or something. You can say, yeah, maybe I will do that. Maybe I will. And then you take another deep breath out there in space. You tap a button, and you're jettisoned back into the cold void. But the cold void gets warmer and warmer from your feet all the way to your head as you re-enter the atmosphere at a pace that is comfortingly slow or fast if you're really into that kind of thing. And you make yourself find yourself right back where you were, sitting at home, watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, the czar of the bazaar, and host Strange Times Indeed right here, twitch.tv/Met Comedy Night. Thank you so much, terrestrials, for joining us for this this night of programming, our first show back about a month and a half. So great, Connor and Barefootin', Barb, thank you so much, all of you, for calling in and sharing your stories. Your stories are the backbone of this show, and we hope we get more callers, more stories in the years and months to come. We'll be doing this show forever, of course, right here, Thursdays at 9 on twitch.tv/Met Comedy Night. And of course, this broadcast dedicated to the Maryland Ensemble Theater, the only theater with the guts to put us on the air, and the only theater, or at least one of two theaters on Theater Row with the guts, or one of two theaters who have the guts and the other one is not committed on Theater Row to holding a vaccination mandate for attendance at their shows and to be working in their space, just trying to keep as many people safe as possible while still bringing theater back in whatever way that we can as we start rolling into being back to normal, but also being back to normal while another pandemic is happening. So you can check out The Revolutionists on the main stage, an adult show filled with some biting satire and a lot of fun. Our producer was just in the sitting in the first read for that the other week. And when I say sitting in, I really mean sitting on the sides. Do not think that he is in the show. Do not go to see him. He will not be there. And outside of that, there is also our Fun Company productions of Bob Marley's Three Little Birds happening at the Baker Park Band Shell at the end of this month. You can find out all the information about that at marylandensemble.org. Outside of that, thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to our new followers. Thank you to Serenity and Connor Olson and Hunter Duggan. Thank you to Connor for backing us on the Patreon and every other backer. Let's go ahead and get them on the, well, I need to get some things about which names they want me to use when I thank them. So if you're on the Patreon, be sure to check your messages. You can also find information about how to join our Discord while you're on there. And that's the way it goes. If you've ever called into this program and you're not on the Discord, drop me a line and we'll get you on there for freebies. That's all you got to do. If you want to get into the club for free, call and share a story with us. That's all we want is the stories. Like I said, they're the backbone of the show. We'd be nothing without our callers. So thank you so much to everybody who called in. And if you joined us, if you just backed us to join the Discord because of that, and you did call in on the show, you're still so greatly appreciated, even doubly so. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Steven, for running the tech. Thank you to all our callers. Steven, there you are. Whoa, second, you're like in an 80s music video, my friend, and I am loving it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. next week, I'm going to really give, I think, a real detailed look at this UFO report. So we're going to get into the weeds of this inconclusive report and see where things could have been a little more conclusive. We're going to give them some constructive criticism on what that might look like. So join us next Thursday at 9 o'clock right here on twitch.tv/MetComedyNight. Until then, I've been Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bizarre. Stay strange, terrestrials. Greetings, very funny. Cliff McCallister here, the Czar of the Bizarre. I've just been reading up about how you should not put your hats on the bed. In David Pickering's Dictionary of Superstitions, it says, straight from the text, hats must never be laid down on beds or tables, as it invites extreme bad luck, especially in sporting circles.